pleaded guilty to victimizing dozens of families at their weakest moments will not go to jail, and his victims are okay with that. Seth Kaplan live at the Franklin County Courthouse in Chambersburg with the story. Good afternoon, Seth.
Good afternoon to you, James. Yeah, the judge said that she can't remember a case with so many victims. We're talking about 73 different families victimized, according to the guilty plea, by 39-year-old Richard Randolph Freeman, who was the owner, he lives across the state line in Maryland, the owner of Greencastle, Bronze, and Granite. This is all that's left now of the business. A bunch of bad online reviews complaining about a lot of the same kinds of things that we heard about in court this morning. More than $200,000 stolen, according to the guilty plea, by Freeman from people who were buying caskets for their loved ones or for themselves for future burial, gravestone markers. As I said, more than 70 different families. Many of them were here. James, you mentioned he's not going to be going to prison. That is because he came up with $50,000 in restitution so far. So he is on probation instead. I'll tell you more about the details in a minute. First, I want you to hear from one of the family members who struggled to contain their emotions.
To me, it wasn't probably as much as the money as it was the hurt. To know that my husband didn't get his marker. It just wasn't fair. It's just not right. It's just not right. You know, he took advantage of people at their worst point, lowest point, and he took advantage of those people.
You heard her say of those people, and that's part of what's interesting here, right? As if she's not including herself. She actually said, James, that she is relatively okay. She lost $3,000 related to arrangements for her husband. She was able to find the money and get what she needed. There are people who, now dating back to at least 2021, still don't have what they paid for and don't have the means to pay for it. And so what happened here is they basically created, along with the district attorney who agreed to all this, a situation where they're kind of prioritizing the people who just still don't even have anything. They're going to get restitution first. And it's 21 years of probation. He is going to have to work and pay back the rest of the money. And you say, well, still, why that? And there were family members who said they would rather see him go to jail, but most of them said, look, we understand that the only way anybody's ever going to get paid is this way, because the judge said if he would go to jail, he's going to make $1 an hour in a prison cafeteria, for example. Here he can work at a job that pays a decent wage and earn this money back under supervision. And if he doesn't, then he could go back to prison. He did face 4 years, by the way, in prison if it hadn't worked out this way.
Seth, I mean, an incredibly sad story there. You said more than 70 victims in all of this. Did many of them show up at court today? Did any of them speak before the judge?
Yeah, I counted 31 people in there. I mean, in some cases, this would have been multiple members of one family, so probably 20-something different families. They did speak. The judge gave them an opportunity. I think 5 different people spoke. A number of other people submitted comments to the judge. She read all of them. She characterized them, and she said she was very moved by them. And by the way, she did give Freeman a chance to speak, and he said he faced her. He didn't turn around to the victims, and he did say this. He said, I would just like to apologize to the victims and families affected and let them know I am working to make this right. I asked how they felt about that. They don't find him credible. They said they think he's sorry he got caught, not sorry for what happened. But in any case, most of them seem to be on the same page that they're fine with this arrangement. He's not considered a danger to society in terms of violence or anything. They'd rather see the most vulnerable people at least get their money back.
Wow, what an incredible story there. All right, Seth Kaplan, live for us in Chambersburg. Thank you very much for bringing us up to date on that one.